What we're trying to accomplish here is to differentiate the pericardium from the rest of the heart. We spent quite a bit of time with endocarditis, specifically in the realm of valvular heart disease. We looked at myocarditis and we started categorizing it into our restrictive and our hypertrophic and dilated. Remember, dilated cardiomyopathy and restricted cardiomyopathy would be quite common in developed countries. If it's restricted cardiomyopathy, quite rare in developed countries. In developing countries, a little bit more common. And by that, we mean subcontinent of Asia, Africa. Pericardium. What is it? Well, it's the outer layer. And there should be a little bit of fluid, in the pericardial cavity. And a little bit of fluid within the pericardial cavity then represents the prevention of friction, especially as the heart is being incredibly pumped. Has to be. Well, our topic with pericarditis would be one in which there's inflammation taking place at the pericardium, as you would see here. And what is your next step of management? Well, it depends. If you had, let's say, left ventricular rupture and you suddenly filled up the pericardial sac with fluid, and it was only just a little bit, what you would think at the time as being a measly 200 milliliters, but if it rapidly gets in there, it might then cause massive restriction. Welcome to tamponade. Or if there was leakage of fluid into pericardial cavity and it took time, and it got up to maybe even 1200. Well, if it took time for that fluid to accumulate in the pericardial cavity, it's not of acute nature, and so therefore you will not call that cardiac tamponade. The risk of death at that point, thank goodness, is decreased. So it is really at this point for you to walk through the journey of pericarditis and how do you distinguish one from the other? Acute pericarditis, as the name implies, the suffix itis, itis, itis. Inflammation, inflammation, inflammation. Where am I? The outside aspect of the heart.